What's up, YouTubers? What's up, guys? My name's Hunter McIntosh. Welcome to the very first episode of Movie Melt. And, I'm not exactly sure what, the business model here is for the show. I'm just kind of bored and figured I'd review some movies. And I think the first one we're going to start with today is James Gunn's Superman. I went and watched this in theaters, and I gotta say, I had some questions, and then once it dropped on HBO Max, which is on there right now, I watched it again right before this review as a refresher, and now I understand it a little bit better. I had some questions at first. I still have questions. My Xbox is talking to me. Sorry. But yeah, so I guess we'll just kind of jump right into it. So, first off, first thing I noticed right away was James Gunn's directing style. I mean, he has a look about it. He has a look about all his movies, and it's a signature. It's a creative choice. So, but it looks great, I think, in Superman. I gotta say, I love the casting, all the casting, actually. Let's talk about Skylar Gisondo for a second. Or I'm probably butchering that name, but yeah, he was perfectly cast as Jimmy Olsen. I think he did a fantastic job. He really captured the essence of what Jimmy is in like the cartoons and the comics and stuff like that, and they even kind of, and they made made him very interesting to a lot of the ladies in the movie, which was cool. Kind of give Jimmy his time to shine. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Skylar, and I think that he did a fantastic job. Obviously, there's Edie. Is it Edie or Eddie Gathegi? He's fantastic as Mr. Terrific. So go back. We're gonna go back. He's terrific as Mr. Terrific. But yeah, I really felt like this was kind of a Superman and Mr. Terrific movie, because Mr. Terrific really shined in this movie. But I mean, all the characters did, and I think that's what James Gunn has such a way of doing, is to make sure all his characters are shining bright, every single one of them, even the ones who aren't on screen for very long. I mean, the guy that helped Superman out of the hole when he falls, and apparently gave him some food at one point. I mean, wow, what a cool little bitty, a little character, man, and it's so awesome what they did with him, and I don't know. Like I said, everybody did great in this. I mean, down to Perry White. Everybody in this movie was perfectly cast. I think they all did a fantastic job. David as Superman and Clark. I think he really nailed it. I think they did a really good job this time around, which they've always done a good job in past Superman movies at making sure Clark Kent was very, distinct from Superman. But I think they really drove that home in this one, down to his hair kind of being curlier when he's Clark. Must be the way he styles it or something. But yeah, and then Rachel Brosnahan as Lois is, peak. I was never really a fan of Lois. I like Lois, but she was never one of my all-time favorite characters. But I gotta say, Rachel really, really made me want to see more of her character. And I did. She had a pretty good chunk in this movie. James also has a way of doing that. I think everybody's got a really good, some really good stuff in this movie. And and then Clark's parents, man. I think now a lot of people, I know what a lot of people are going to say. you know, they don't look like Mom and Pa Kent. Well, they do. They do. There's a lot of iterations where they look pulled out of the comic books, and I love what they did with this version. You know, as they're just kind of like regular Joes. You know, they're running this farm. You know, and you know, I love the little bit about, you know, his mother not quite knowing how to talk on the phone. She thinks she's got to yell into it. So that was, you know, nice touches like that, I think. And then the scene between Clark and his dad are just, I mean, you know, that was a fantastic scene. You know, it had me, you know, tearing up there for a second. So
your choices, Clark, your actions, that's what makes you who you are. I'll tell you something, son. I couldn't be more proud of you.
And you know, they don't have much screen time in that movie, but they did a really good job at driving it home on the concept of how close they are as a family. So I think that was a very top tier move from James Gunn as well. So yeah, and then Lex Luthor. Wow. Oh my gosh. He did. Nicholas Hoult did a fantastic job as Lex Luthor, first off. Which Nicholas Hoult kills it at every single role he's done ever. So, but boy, did they really make you dislike Lex. I mean, this is a man who, I mean, he is unhinged. And let's not talk about his, you know, his anger once he's been, you know, once he starts to get behind. He lets it be known, you know, and he takes no prisoners in terms of his workforce. He does take a lot of prisoners, apparently, in general, you know, with all them people he's got locked up in his pocket universe.
We need to find him.
Nicholas drives that home too, man. He's fantastic. He's cold and calculated, but also, like I say, once he gets behind, he's this raging lunatic that really lets his, like, true colors fly, you know, and the way he treats his staff, you know, there for a moment, and, you know, you should know better, Lex. You're only as good as the people that you have working for you. So, which you still got taken down. So apparently they weren't that great. But moving on to the action in this, man. The action is phenomenal. This is where you can really see James Gunn's style coming in, because he's got, you know, those almost like those one-ers, you know, where it's just like Mr. Terrific when he comes down into the military compound there, and they're trying to find the entrance to the pocket dimension. I mean, when he's tearing them people up, man, that was fantastic. I mean, that was great. He really he really showed him what was up, you know, and that was in true Mr. Terrific fashion. I'm so glad, because I watched it with my buddy again too, and you know, we had agreed that we were very glad that in that one scene where Lois is asking for everyone's help, you know, to go find Clark, and Green Lantern and Hawkgirl kind of say, man, whatever.
So you're just gonna let your friend rot in the pocket universe?
Mr. Terrific still came, and I think that's what he's all about. So I'm really glad that they did that. And then,
What?
and then again, you know, James, in typical James fashion, he kind of, you know, makes sure that Mr. Terrific
not.
gets his time to shine. You know,
We're just
and
seeing
he
each
had
other.
he Yeah, the
Thanks.
great scene there that he
You
pulled
want me to
out
drive?
and show that he can really hold his own.
We'll take my ride.
The way that they had Superman doing these almost like side cartwheels, you know, holding someone, he's just bashing them into the ground over and over and over again, kind of like a turbine almost. It was fantastic. I really loved seeing that. It was like the moment where Hulk grabs Loki and he's doing this, but it's like times 100, you know. So, and then you know he does that a couple times, and I think that's something that for some reason we've never seen from Superman, was the fact that you know he's so fast, he can spin so fast, he can fling whatever's on him off, you know. So I thought that was great. And then Ultraman, which we all seen that coming, I think, with it being his clone, because one, social media is amazing, always ruins everything. And then let's see, you know, I guess now with the second viewing I kind of understand more why Lex was feeding him these moves and stuff, because I thought, well, if he's a clone of Superman, he must be pretty intelligent in his own right, so I don't know why Lex is feeding him these codes and moves. I thought, well, does he control everything he does, or
12C.
just his fighting, or what? And then Lex kind of explains it later that, you know, the clone's really dumb, and he does kind of tell him what to do and controls everything. So I must have missed that in the first viewing. So this is why it's good to kind of watch it more than once, pick up on things that you missed. That way you can judge it properly and accordingly.
8H.
Because another thing I had issues kind of understanding was when Metamorpho handed Superman his baby, because he couldn't hold him while he changed form, which I understand that, because at one point he's nothing but a head. But then he like picks them all up, every single one of them, just a couple minutes later.
Rex! Go easy!
Man, you were so weird.
So I didn't quite get that part. I don't know if it just meant he couldn't hold anybody while he was actively shifting and changing. Which, like I said, he ended up just being ahead there for a minute, so it's probably a good thing Clark did take the baby. So, but yeah, overall, I think this movie did really good at giving us something new and different in terms of superhero movies, because you know, the superhero fatigue and stuff, which I don't even really think it's that. It's just people doing the same thing over and over again just because it's a superhero movie. Like, no, just because it's a superhero movie, you can mix it up. You can make these characters emotional. You can give them core. You know, you can give them a meaning and a purpose. And I think people forget that superheroes can be very humanized. So, you know, I think this movie does a good job at showcasing that. So if you haven't seen it yet, yeah, I recommend watching James Gunn's Superman. Well, I guess it's a pretty short review. Thanks for watching. And, you know, if you guys respond to it and you like it, you know, if you got anything you like to say about the movie yourself, or anything you disagree on, or anything that you think you can clear up for me that I misunderstood, go ahead and leave me some comments, man. Like, subscribe, Hopefully we'll do some more of these. Next time I'll make sure I got some, hopefully got some audio equipment, and I'll remember to turn the AC off and all that, But again, thanks for watching, guys. I guess we'll see you in the next one.